All right, let's talk about operational security and personal security and home security, all of that stuff. Like Benjamin Franklin once said, distrust and caution are the parents of security. And this doesn't mean that you can't trust anyone and you don't want to go out and do anything. What this basically means is like the saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Just be aware and be cautious of what's going on around you. Securing your preps and protecting yourself from anybody who wants what you have is not something that you should do just in case the poop hits the fan or anything like that. It's something we should already be doing. There are plenty of reasons why this is important today, and plenty of people who are out there that are willing to take what we have if we're going to make it easy for them. And unfortunately, this is the state of affairs that we live in today. We actually, have to think about this stuff. Now, I'm not saying you need armed security guards or an expensive security team or landmines sprinkled throughout your front lawn or anything like that, but there are some steps that we can take to make ourselves just a little bit less of a target and make ourselves a little bit more aware of our situation and, like I said, a little more less of a target. Securing your home shouldn't start from the inside of your home. It should start from the outside edge of your property and work your way in. By working outside in, you'll potentially increase the time between you being alerted by an intruder and the time that you either need to face the intruder or escape the intruder. Every second counts in this situation, and everything that you can do to make it just a little bit harder for them to get into your home or anything like that will give you those precious seconds that you need to react. Like I said, either decide whether you are going to defend yourself or if you're going to get your butt out of there, basically. Basic home security could be the difference between somebody passing your home up and going to the next house. So start by looking around your home and put yourself in the intruder's shoes. What would you do if you had to get in? And now, as a teenager, I had to break into my house a few times, and wasn't because I got kicked out of my house or anything. It's because my parents forgot to give me the key or a bunch of different things. But if you have kids, ask them, how would you get in? And not all teenagers are criminals, and I'm not saying that, but they're going to be less concerned about property damage or anything like that than you are because they don't have to pay the bills. They don't have to fix it. So by doing this, you might get a little different point of view, and they might point out things that you never really even thought about because, like I said, they think differently than us. If they want to get in, they're going to figure out how to get in, and they're not going to worry about breaking this or that. And remember, criminals like to get in and out as quickly as possible. So simple things like keeping your doors locked and your windows locked and the bushes outside of your windows trimmed. So you're taking away hiding spots from the intruders, and you're making it harder for the intruders to get in or to hide. And also remember that once you lock those doors and windows, make sure that your kids or somebody else didn't go back behind you and unlock that without you knowing about it. But criminals are opportunists, and criminals take the path of least resistance. So they weigh the risk and reward just like we do. But while we risk driving through rush hour for our weekly paycheck, they risk jail time for that easy payday. Now, anyone who wants to get in through your front door bad enough is going to. So regardless of what you do, if they want in bad enough, they're going to get in. But what you can do is make it a little bit tougher for them and make sure you have good locks and you use them. And they even make this film that you can put over your windows that will stop your windows from shattering. It's kind of like window tint. And again, this won't stop someone who is, hell bent on getting into your house, but it could give you a few seconds to defend yourself. Or if they try to shatter your window and it doesn't open and they've made all this noise, maybe they'll take off at that point. Or it alerts you and it gives you those few extra seconds. And also make sure that you have adequate lighting around the exterior of your house, and make sure you look in your front yard and everything for those blind spots. Like I said, the bushes that are overgrown or anything like that. And you can purchase outdoor lights, the solar lights that go up the pass or anything like that, to remove some of these areas that someone could hide in your front yard or around your perimeter. Now, inside your home is also important, just as important as the outside. So maybe when you're at work, or if you have a certain schedule you go by, get a timer for when you're not there at home, that the lights come on at certain times, and that kind of gives the appearance that somebody might be there. And that's the main thing. If somebody might be there, if somebody's hell-bent on getting into your home, they don't care if you're there or not. But if they know that it's not going to be that easy, that they would have to face somebody, the possibilities are greater that they could move on to somebody else's house. And most criminals are looking to get in and out, like I said, as quickly as possible, and don't really want to hurt you physically. And like I said, most of them, but they just want our toys. So if they think that somebody's in there, they're going to give that a second thought. Now, another thing that can kind of alert you are alarms, and alarms are great to have if you can afford the big fancy ones. But there are also other low-cost options available other than like Brink's Home Security or anything like that. Something as simple as like Christmas bells on your doorway could give you a little bit of an advance warning to those quote-unquote unwelcome visitors, and possibly give them a little scare or startle them away, anything like that. A solar driveway sensor is also a good idea, or even a battery powered motion sensor, which are great to have, because if if you don't have any power, if the power's out, you still get that warning if someone comes up your driveway. And if your house is tucked up back from the street, or you live in a rural area, you can't really depend on your neighbors to know if someone is breaking into your home. And although a motion sensor isn't going to alert your neighbors or anything like that, it would alert you if you happen to be home at that time, if someone is trying to break into your home, and it gives you that extra little bit of time to get out of harm's way, or to call the authorities, or to do what you have to do at that point. And dummy cams are another great alternative to the expensive home security systems. And like I said, they're not going to record anything on film if you're not home. But you can find dummy cams for as little as $20, I think, for a set of 4. And again, this is not going to stop somebody that is dead set on getting into your home. But if they see these above your front door or your garage door or anything like that, as they're casing your house or something, they might think twice about this particular house. Maybe they'll move on to the next one and see what's going on over there. Now, along with all of these alarms and everything, there's also personal defense and self-defense weapons. And I'm not talking about having guns laying all over the house or anything like that, but I want to go over a few self-defense techniques and non-lethal weapons that you can use around your home. And keep in mind, like I said, I'm not stating that a stun gun or pepper spray should be an alternative or an absolute alternative to a firearm. But it's always good to have other options available when a situation presents itself that might not require lethal force. Now, if somebody's inside your home, and I think you have every right to do what you have to do to protect yourself. But if you are running around your house and you need to find something, you're going to grab a lamp or something like that, it'd be nice to have, some pepper spray Velcroed under a table or under a windowsill or next to your couch. So that way when you're running through your house trying to flee an attacker or something, you know where that stuff is. And you'll probably catch them off guard when you're playing chicken around the kitchen table or something, and all of a sudden you pull out a can of pepper spray. And, you could put this on like your doorknob as well, something that as you answer your door, you have the chain on or something, and it's somebody out there trying to get in, and then, slap him in the face with a little bit of pepper spray and to give you time to call the authorities or whatever you need to do at that point. And remember that pepper spray and stun guns are close contact weapons. A taser is a little bit different than a stun gun because it fires leads into a person's body, and it gives you a little bit more range. And on a kind of a side note, taser is kind of a generic term, and it stands for Thomas A. Swift's electronic rifle. But anyway, tasers are still close contact weapons. They just give you a little bit more room. And this is why they could never take the place of a real firearm, because as you can potentially defuse a situation from a distance with a firearm, but with a taser, stun gun, or pepper spray, somebody has to basically be close enough to physically injure you for you to be able to use those. And these would be used to give yourself that little bit of extra time that you need. And, remember that extracting yourself from a situation is sometimes it's a better solution than, maybe pepper spray a guy and tie him up. Maybe you grab your cell phone and get out of there and call the authorities. Now, as far as self-defense goes, you don't need to be a black belt in karate or a golden glove boxer, but you should know how to, maybe just a few moves of how to free yourself if somebody grabs a hold of you, or, maybe somebody grabs you by the neck and you need to grab their arm and chop it down and punch them in the neck, or I don't know, you got to do something to free yourself. But you want to know a few of those moves that will put a little bit of distance between you and the attacker and give you that little bit of extra time to maybe get to that pepper spray you have hidden under the table, or get out the back door and run and scream and let your neighbors know that everything is not all hunky-dory. So just a few self-defense moves. And like I said, you don't need to be a golden glove boxer or anything, but you should know just a few of those moves, or as much as you can. Put yourself in that situation. What would you do if somebody were trying to attack you, or what would you do if somebody was physically threatening you? All right, so now that we've talked about securing your perimeter and self-defense weapons like pepper spray and stun guns and tasers and even just basic self-defense, let's take a look in the mirror and let's talk about what do you do on a daily basis that puts you at risk, or gives somebody a reason to feel like they can come in and take what you have fairly easily. And ask yourself, are you one of those people that have to brag about your new stuff and your new toys to your friends? Or are you one of those people that leave your car door open while you're pumping gas in the hood or anything like that? Or are you one of those people that always go to the bank straight, right after work on Fridays, and always go straight to the bank to cash your paycheck? The truth is, we're all probably guilty of this at one point or another. But these are the simple things that we can kind of change up and try to avoid that kind of make us a target. If somebody knows that every Friday you're going to the bank to cash your check at 4:30 in the afternoon, they're going to know that this happens every 2 weeks or whenever you get paid, and they're going to be, at some point they'll be there waiting for you. So don't go out to lunch and tell your friends about this brand new 90-inch television that you just bought. They might not be the ones that come steal it, but there could be a guy right behind you listening to the conversation, and he might be the one that's thinking, 90-inch TV, huh? I can't afford one of those. Or you could tell your best friend about, a new generator in your garage, or, golf clubs or anything like that. And they could talk to other people telling them about, hey, John Doe over here just got a new generator. It's pretty cool. And then those people could tell other people. And then all of a sudden, this increases your chances of the wrong person finding out about that new generator you have. And if once that wrong person finds out, they know that they can come get themselves a new generator for free, basically. And along with bragging, don't put your house on display. The more you can fly under the radar, and the more your home looks like a kind of a waste of time for an intruder to get into, the more likely they're going to move on to the next home. That guy that's got everything sitting out, the guy that keeps his garage door open. They're going to go to that guy because they know what he has. They know that reward that's waiting for him is worth the risk. And like I said with the garage door, don't leave your garage door open for everybody to come in and see what you have. And I don't know how many times I drive through, a suburban neighborhood or any neighborhoods and see, every other house that has their garage door open, and it's showing people how many motorcycles they have, all the tools they have, the golf clubs in the corner, all of that stuff. And it just shows everybody, it kind of gives them a reason. Hey, if I break into this house, they've got this stuff in their garage. And that's cool enough. What do they have inside their house? And something else you should always do is know your surroundings and know what poses the biggest threat to you and your family, and get to know your neighbors, and, find out the ones that are, going to help you protect your home, or the ones that, maybe you need to protect your home against. And neighbors will, even if it's just a cordial conversation here and there, if they see somebody outside your door, they're going to want to help because they're going to want to strengthen that relationship. So they're going to call you up and say, hey, I saw somebody this person has driven by your house 5 or 6 times now, and I just wanted to give you a heads up. And you say thanks, and maybe you go bring them some cookies or something like that. I don't know. And then, Jack Spirko in the Survival Podcast kind of put it pretty simple. And he said, perform an Am I Being Stupid audit. And if you're constantly leaving your garage door open, or you go directly to the bank after work on payday, or maybe you have a wad of cash sticking out of your back pocket as you're walking through Walmart, well, you're being stupid. And I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm saying we all do stupid things. And like I said, if you do all of that stuff, then you're being stupid. And we need to fix that, because people are already looking for reasons to come take what we have, and we don't want to be the ones that give them that extra reason to, come take what we have. Now, granted, if you're at Walmart with money sitting out of your back pocket, they're just going to take that and take off. But if you're bragging about stuff, if you've got your garage door open, if your front yard, if you got to be one of those people that keeps up with the Joneses and make sure everybody knows that you've got all these shiny new toys and all of that, well, you're kind of putting yourself on display, and you're kind of asking for it at that point. So basically, to wrap all of this up, security and situational awareness is all stuff that we can do, at the very basic level. We can control all of this stuff. We can buy a little bit of pepper spray. We can, maybe watch a couple YouTube videos on how to get an attacker off of you or something like that. We don't need to be karate experts. We don't need to have 15 guns in our house. I do recommend everybody has some kind of firearm in their house, because that just can't be understated, but also understand how to use that firearm as well. That goes right along with having a firearm is being properly trained in using that firearm. So take some time today or this weekend or something, and just kind of walk around your house and figure out what you can do that's low cost, that can help you, increase your security around your house. Walk around the outside of your house and the perimeter, and put yourself in that criminal's shoes and try to find those hiding spots, and, maybe go take your neighbor some cookies and just introduce yourself. All of this stuff, you never know when it's going to be useful, but just having that neighbor that's kind of keeping an eye out on you is always good to know, and not having the bushes all overgrown on the outside of your house, and not having those hiding spots, and maybe putting a dummy cam in, and all of that stuff can decrease those odds of somebody passing your house up or putting you down on the list of targets for them.